Well, we've talked about this a little bit, but I want to focus on the value of the property. As you touched on, it's the income minus the expenses. So what are ways that you as a property manager have helped your owners find income that they didn't have before?
Sure. Right, and it's hard to give an answer that's clever to this, right? Because it's always raise the rent or save money, right? And you can't save money in most of the expenses. I mean, you can shop insurance, but where you don't want is the cheapest insurance. So it's not the you want the right insurance for the best price. It's like everything, and you certainly property taxes, right? And so you're down to things like maintenance, right? And that's where I always go back to. So for us, we own a maintenance company. That's how we control it. It's super important. It probably is the biggest variable, right? If one of our owners, if especially single family, right? We're talking now, if anything changes for them, it's maintenance every time because everything else is the same. They literally get to the point they expect the same check in their account every month, like it's a paycheck. So for one, I'd argue that's a bad way to look at an investment because I can tell you the stock market, there's dividends, but they're not sending you a check every month for investing in it, right? But when you get to multifamily, then it's a whole different game. And it's or even when you scale single family, because then you really can make a 10% difference that does something substantial, right? And I look at it again back to what I try to explain to folks in my company. It's like, what happens if rents go up $10 a month on this 100-unit property, right? And they're like, you make $1,000, right? For those that can do a little bit of math, right? Good. How much is that a year? 12,000. All right. What does that mean to the property, right? And I think it's I actually tried to look it up earlier, so I'd memorize this, but it's like at a cap rate of 7, it's about $172,000 or something to the value of the building. $10, right? Trivial amount. You had $172,000 to the value of a building. That's to me the important part, and that helps people think of the long term. Right. So, what can I do to, stop losing money this month? Well, maybe nothing. Right. Because every action you take might take a while. Right. Can you get higher rents? Right. Well, if you're below market. Yeah. And that's back to, where property manager is usually a little better at that. I have no problem raising rents. I have problem with charging unfair rents, which usually only happens in the lowest segment. Right. That sort of abusive rents, right? And I don't agree and I won't manage that. But normally, right, you want at market. And I don't really care. I mean that in the nicest way possible that Sally's been an amazing resident for 15 years. I would too if I was paying half of market rent, right? You gotta jump it up, and you don't jump it up $10. Put it at market, right? And odds are Sally will stay because odds are she knows, right? If you've been taking care of her in every other way, people are willing to pay the fair price. And so that's the biggest part is just rent is the easiest lever, right? And my problem is it can sound bad, right? And it can play off bad on all this stuff taken out of context. Like you're just squeezed more and more and more. And we're well aware it's part of our mission statement that residents pay up to 50% of their income towards what we do. And I take great responsibility in it. But it's like everything, it's about balance and fairness and everything else, right? You want market rents at market rents. So we bought a building every 2 of the 3 buildings I bought, we raised rents essentially as soon as we got them because they were below market. It didn't cause a mass exodus or panic or all that, right? Some grumbling, yeah. But I say the same thing. I'm like, you know what? They're not going to leave because it's still the fair price, right? What you were doing before didn't work. And you had one resident paying $500 a month and another one paying $800 for the same unit. I'm like, how is that fair then? Like that doesn't bother you? That $300 disparity? Like that bothers me more than telling everyone to pay $800.
Want to hear more on this topic? Click the link below for the full episode of Maximizing Your Property Value.